Now, we could have a whole debate on co-governments, but unfortunately we're running out of time. So what's your stance in one sentence, Mark, on co-governance?
In one sentence?
One
So
sentence.
can we take an element of it, like water reform? Or
Well, who owns
think
the
you've
water,
used
we
your
could
sentence
ask
now.
you, and what is...
So we all own the water, and the treaty's really clear about that we both parties to the treaty have an interest in the water. To use that as an example, so co-governance was evolved, Chris Finlayson and the National Party evolved that approach to dealing with the Waikato River system, which I'm familiar with how that works because I work quite closely with Mercury Energy. It's a very effective structure, what they use here, but in terms of water for the country, it's been underinvested in for decades, so there's a requirement, if we're going to get this sorted out without putting massive bills on ratepayers, to have a separate balance sheet entity. So what the partnership body that sits across the top of the water structure does, and all that does is choose the directors that sit on the water entities, right? By making it 50% iwi and 50% council, it enables it to be far enough away from the council to create a separate balance sheet, and it also prevents National or ACT ever in the future selling our water because
So are the
Māori
iwi
will not sell.
unaccountable to
The
the
Māori
iwi.
will never sell water
Fund
because they
this.
see
Or
it
they
as
just
something
assigned by
that
the
is sacred
local
for
iwi.
all of us.
What about co-governance of your other services, though?
That's right.
So which services do we want to tackle next? Because it's complex and everyone's a little different.
We
It's
don't
racist.
have time for this, so
Let's
we'll move
go.
on. Martin,
I think
co-governance?
against
Yes or
it is our basic at the moment because I don't think it's been fully explained, fully understood and fully thought through how it's actually going to work with unelected members being put on committees.
no? Julian, what do you say about this?
I have absolutely no problem with Māori being given a voice in matters that affect them. For too long they've been excluded from decision making.
They have
They're
not.
continually, they're still largely excluded from decision making. And for things for which it's
Not
about
true. That's
having
not
a
true.
voice.
They've always been involved.
It's about a partnership
It's
to keep our
divisive
natural
and it's
resources
It's about
safe
a
for all of
partnership,
us.
and we fully support a
treaty-
partnership with
So
under our treaty
The treaty is not a
obligations.
partnership. The
So
treaty
you
was not.
don't
No,
agree
no,
in co-governance?
it's not a partnership. It's all about
Well,
New
that's
Zealand.
your
It
view.
wasn't divided. The treaty never said it's a partnership. Maori ceded sovereignty. So this whole thing about co-governance
Not
goes
their
right back to
version
the
of the
beginning.
treaty.
We're one
Māori
people, we're
actually
one
said
vote,
that they're
and the
prepared
thing
to
was, it's
share
all
resources
about.
and share the
They
land.
gave.
That's
You're
the-
wrong. You're
that's
wrong.
the
You're,
in-
you're no. Maori
Well,
ceded
depends who you
sovereignty.
talk to,
The thing
yeah.
is, co-governance is corrupt and it's a separatist thing. So that will be gone. New Zealand First will totally get rid of that.
Katie,
Well,
what's
that's
your
the
view on
kind of
co-governance?
scaremongering
So
and
it's simple for us.
So
language
climate
that
change and climate change scaremongering too.
It's simple for us. For us, it is no co-governance of public services. We want outcomes-focused services that get the best outcome for everybody, and that is really important. But,
Irrelevant
as
of
Mark mentioned,
history.
Chris Finlayson, yes, he was supportive of co-governance of natural resources in treaty settlements.
Yeah.
There is a place for it, but it is not in public services. We need to have the best outcome for everybody.
So Pavel, what's
Not
your
on who you
quick
Well,
view
it's
on
ask.
this?
about
this work.
accountability of public servants.
Yeah.
For example, with water, you need to make sure, and it's for the best of the water resources, that all the people on the board are elected, which is the only way they are accountable to the people who fund those resources. If you nominate half of the board, then you can't vote them out. So ACT firmly stands against co-governance. It should be one person, one vote.
Amen.
And everything should be on universal human rights. And actually, this is what it says.
We're all
in
equal.
the
Well,
Article
thank
3
you
of the
for
treaty.
that, everyone. That was great.